is it? Edwards showing his growth and his progression in the sport. Oh, nice transition there. It is all over!
There is no weaknesses. He can submit you, pound you out on the ground, or knock you out on the feet. Oh!
Gonna goes down! Leon Edwards is pouring on the pressure!
He's the full package as a mixed martial artist.
I've improved leaps and bounds since the first fought.
One of the very best pound-for-pound fighters in the world at present.
I'm looking forward to showing the world. At the time when I first got into mixed martial arts, the UFC World title was driving me.
Oh, he's wobbled, and he connected.
Now what's getting me up in the morning is I want to be one of the best welterweights to ever exist in the UFC.
And this really stamps the Edwards legacy. Unbeaten in 12 straight.
You just beat one of the greatest welterweights of all time for the second time, cementing yourself as the UFC welterweight champ.
His mom, who had him when she was 15 years old. 15 years old. In Jamaica, he has a father who's involved in gangs, in the drug scene, doesn't even know that he has a brother. His brother's living with his grandmother, his brother Fabian, a great Bellator fighter. They meet when they're 6. They move to the UK, better life in Birmingham, which, you know, doesn't get the shine that a London does, right? Doesn't get the shine in the UK, doesn't get the shine in England. It's the trenches, it's the working class, right? He goes there, and what is it? It's more trouble, it's more bad news, it's more gangs, it's more drugs, it's more of that. His father gets murdered. A guy who grows up without a dad. A guy who grows up with his single mother who had him when she was 15 years old. This is what he grew up. This is the type of scene that he grew up in. And then they're walking by a gym when he's a teenager, and she says, maybe you should try this MMA thing because I need you off the streets. Leon Edwards will never be a UFC champion.
When he's beating a top 10 guy, I'm gonna be the first guy to expose him, to break his face. But until that moment comes, you're talking about the business side, because you already saw on the personal side, any day of the week I will address you. But on the business side, get to my level, buddy.
Leon Edwards is more of a Bellator type fighter. If you ask me, he should go over there and crush cans for a living.
I'm the people's champion. I'm America's champion. I'm the king of Miami. Leon's lucky he gets to fight me for the undisputed title. He has still fans. No one cares about Leon. They care about me. I feel like the best is yet to come. I will bring that belt back to America where it belongs. Doesn't matter what you did to him. What are you going to do to me, kid?
Edwards will always be known as the guy that Masvidal punched in the face backstage and nothing more. Leon, no one cares about Leon. Leon was booed by his own people at the O2. Leon was booed by his hometown or adopted hometown crowd when he was fighting Gunnar Nelson.
The thing about Leon is you can never sleep. He's so sharp. His striking, like, he's one of the most impressive guys I've ever seen hit the pads.
Leon's good. He's really good.
And what Leon loves too is that he did all of this out of his gym in England. He didn't have to move to America and join ATT or join one of the big gyms. He did it out of his town.
That's a special young man right there. He just beat the GOAT. The pound for pound, not just 170, the pound for pound greatest at the time, and Leon beat him. So, what could he ever face that would be so hard again, right? He's got it all figured out. Now it's just a matter of duplicating. Well, no, he did have a new challenge. He was in tears 2 nights ago. He told that story. I wouldn't have told. I was there. I saw it. I wouldn't have talked about it. He told that story to Joe Rogan in front of the world in his post-fight interview. Colby had brought up a memory of his father, and he was so furious, but he knew if he's going to avenge the statement and avenge his father and not let Colby win. Colby, There ain't no father. He wasn't trying to disrespect him, right? He was trying to get an emotion, and he did. And Leon knew, I gotta put these tears away, and I gotta calm back down.
After the last few years, after seeing what this guy had been through, after seeing how few had his back, from the brass to his fellow fighters, and I would have conversations with some of these people, and I would be like, yo, this could be you. This could be your client. This guy represents what's right about MMA. He does things the right way. Hard hat, lunch pail, meritocracy, the fair way. And you guys are trying to ruin that. Exhibit 3,492, why there will never be a union as long as things stay the same. Why this is always an individual sport. This guy didn't try to cut corners. He was fighting unranked guys. He was fighting guys that no one wanted to fight to get to this point. And he pulls it off like that. And he does it in that moment with less than a minute to go, 56 seconds to go. One of the most shocking, one of the greatest, one of the most amazing turn of events in the history of the sport. Now,
where do you go when you've already shocked the world?
There it is.
The Austin, I couldn't do it. Look at me now.
When you've gone unbeaten for almost a full decade, undefeated in 12 straight fights.
It is all over. Leon Edwards.
Showing how deep the desire to win goes, and just how hot the Birmingham blood runs.
Leon Edwards looks to complete his Rocky story.
Now I'm a veteran in the sport, and I truly believe this is my time.
But how you get it done? The people all want to know, how are you going to get it done?
Leon Edwards has come so far. He has been watching Usman the whole time, getting better, preparing himself for the time that they fought again.
Listen. You ain't come this far to give it away now.
I knew I was down on the scorecards. I know going into the 5th round, I needed a finish.
You gotta pull this out of the fire. Here we go. Let's go. Enjoy this.
5th and final round.
This is do or die for Leon Edwards.
No mistakes.
He's got to do something really big.
When that final bell rings, Usman's going to win. You gotta empty the gas tank here.
Cross kick.
He may have resigned himself to losing a decision.
Cross head kick.
But that is not the cloth from which he is cut. Oh! No way! No!
We thought he was dejected and defeated. He head kicked Kamaru Usman into the shadow realm.
We were writing his obituary.
You're down to me, so I couldn't do it. The horse said I couldn't do it. Look at me now.
finally the world corrects itself for Leon Edwards. In that final minute, this young man from Jamaica, this young man from the trenches, this young man who everyone did not want to give a shot to, dug down deep and threw the kick of a lifetime. The head kick that will be talked about and remembered until this sport no longer ceases to exist. Until I die, I will be thinking about that moment. One of the greatest things that I have ever seen inside the octagon. And again, it's because we have respect for Kamaru Usman. It's because he was a tremendous champion, a fighting champion, a game champion. It's because of what he did that makes that moment. Make no mistake about it. This isn't me raining on his legacy or whatever he did over the last 3 years. That's a great champion who has a lot to be proud of, and the way he conducted himself in the aftermath, nothing short of amazing, and he deserves all the credit. But it's because of who he is, it makes that moment that much greater, and it's because it came in the final minute of a fight that he was about to lose 4 rounds to 1 after everything that he had been through. To throw a kick like that and to land it, magical. One of the greatest, for me personally, on a personal note, a victory for so many people, a victory for every single person who was told no, a victory for every single person who tried to do things the right way, a victory for every single person who was thrown roadblock after roadblock, who was told F you, who was kind of left off to the side. It's a victory for everyone who believed, not just in what's right, what's wrong, who believed in this particular fighter. Because let's be honest, for a very long time, there were a lot of reasons not to believe in this particular fighter. There were a lot of people telling you you shouldn't believe in this particular fighter.
Because that guy is in the most elevated state of understanding what winning is all about ever. There's no higher level He beats the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, becomes the UFC welterweight champ in a fight he was losing.
All the guys who said, Leon is boring, Leon can't hang, we're not going to look at Leon. Leon doesn't deserve a #1 contender fight. He doesn't even deserve to be in the conversation with the likes of these guys. That's what they were saying. Remember, he's Leon Scott. He's boring. The irony that all these guys get an opportunity, some multiple times, to fight Kamaru Usman, and it's Leon who gets the victory, and it's Leon who gets the knockout, and it's Leon who's the champion who tastes gold. The guy that everyone mocked, the guy that everyone said didn't even deserve to be in the conversation, not with the champion. Forget the champion, #1 contender. How dare you?
Leon is so much better than I knew he was.
There is no pound for pound. The belt belongs to nobody. After he just won it.
Yeah.
That's when it's real. I mean, he just won it in the most spectacular manner possible. The greatest way to win a fight, by far, is a head kick knockout. There is no wilder thing to see. And for him to land that in the 5th round of a fight that he was losing, and then say, there is no pound for pound. The belt belongs to nobody.
When Leon became the world champion, we did acknowledge that a fair contest was done and that he was the champion. We did not acknowledge that he was the best, which is why we did the rematch, of which Kamaru Usman was the favorite. That Leon didn't beat an old Kamaru Usman. Leon found a way 2 different times to beat the only 70-pounder who has ever been argued to be as good as George St. Pierre, and you don't get laughed out of a room for saying it.
We have never seen anything like this. And isn't it amazing? And isn't it ironic that the guy that they all said was boring, the guy that they all said no one connected with, the guy that they all said wasn't one of the top stars in England, right? They show him on the screen, no one says a word. They show this guy, that guy, Patty, Darren, whatever, everyone pops, right? Isn't it amazing that it's that guy from Birmingham, from Brum, from Jamaica, that guy that everyone said wasn't good enough, wasn't strong enough, wasn't popular enough, wasn't dynamic enough, wasn't well-rounded enough, he elicited that emotion. It's a beautiful thing. And he's going to be the guy to bring them to the UK and to do a show at Wembley. What they're talking about now, he's going to be the guy to do that. Old Leon Rocky Edwards, he's going to be the one, the face of UK MMA. Leon Rocky Edwards going to get that moment after everything. And now everyone else who ignored him over the past 3 years wants to fight him, wants to go toe-to-toe, wants to get the rub off of his moment. God, sometimes the world has a way of correcting itself for the underdogs, for the voiceless, for the ones who just can't seem to catch a break. And I really do feel like Leon represents so many people over the past 2+ years who feel like they just can't catch a break. This guy had to do it in Utah, had to do it when no one was watching in the UK, right? Middle of the night, Anthony Joshua, all that stuff, and he does it against the pound-for-pound king. I mean, what can you say?